Yeah, I think for me the main thing was like the early game stuff. I think that's like totally rocked my world.
So where
Um,
would you start?
well, I think this may be an issue, but I always start top and go top to bottom and look for a bot lane gank,
Yep.
which I think might be with this comp might be a good idea because you got the Nautilus and Ash lane, which is really easy to gank for,
Yep.
and they'll be getting pushed in. So it might, yeah, I think that I would probably do the same here.
So why do you think that you always start top?
Yeah. So especially this season, I feel like that dragons are more valuable than Rift Heralds, and so I feel like pathing top to bot gives you a better chance to get pressure on dragons. And I don't feel like Fiddlesticks is a good early skirmisher, and because other junglers usually path starting on their red buff to top, then it kind of allows you to avoid a 2v2.
All right, so I'm gonna go through and we'll play it out. So here I'm thinking I want to guard my entries because it's a bard. I forgot the comp. It was a bard and I forgot the ADC.
Kaiser.
Yeah, it was a Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yeah, and then a Vayne mid. They have like a pretty decent level 1 if they wanted to. I'm not sure if we win because Ash's W is actually on quite a high cooldown. So it's good here, the formation. So you see my team's walked out and they're actually guarding my entries. I asked Ari to ward level 1 so we can track the Nunu. And I'm also telling them as well, you see in the chat there, I said early wards out. So I put a ward here. And then I'm also letting my team know that I'm going to level 3 gank bot because I feel like it's really good setup here with Nautilus Ash. We just slow them down and then we just gank and we can win. Like, we can win that lane really easily. Again, I'm thinking of how do I win this game? And winning through my bot side is going to be the best play. And also I'm thinking, how does Nunu win this game? So he would be the same. He would be looking for mid bot. So I'm going to try and beat him to it. So at a summary level, as soon as I go into a game, I'm thinking, okay, can they invade? Or can we invade? What's their win con? What's the Nunu want to do? He's got the same win con as me. He wants to play for bot and mid. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I impact the bottom of the map? We could do the full clear if we want to. But what I usually do is actually throw a ward on my blue, and then I can do a level 3 if I've got really good setup. Now, something you actually said before was that Fiddle isn't a very good skirmisher, but if you've got good setup, he is actually one of the strongest level 1s, level 2s, especially for when there's multiple in like 2v2, 3v3 situations. 1v1 he's dog shit, but if he's 2v2, 3v3, he's actually one of the strongest champs because of the AoEW. So they had vision on me here, and I know that the Nunu is on my blue. I pinged it. We get lucky. So I know that this is safe to actually push up here and dive because he's there. So the Trundle's going to harass the Nunu at our blue. And here we go. It's just a free dive. Look at how big that wave is.
Yeah.
A flash here, then we can go back in. And we deny such a huge wave. Now the game's pretty much done. So think about it like this: if you had you watch do you watch any Pro League?
Yes.
T1 and stuff. Yeah. Imagine if you had Gumayusi and Keria. Like, the game's just done at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just these simple little early game decisions that instead of autopiloting at the start of the game, you put a bit of depth into your thought process. And this is actually part of what I recognize for myself that I need to work on, is looking at the map, looking at the actual lane. So panning my camera using the F keys, that go to different players' perspective. Yeah, I need to get better at doing that. I got into a good habit when I was playing way more consistently because I'd never done it before. Because I play infrequently now. It's something that if I want to continue to climb, I'm gonna have to do it. Like, I get too used to looking at the minimap. That's why my minimap's so huge.
Yeah, so I noticed that you did like a 3-camp gank.
Yep.
How, what percentage of the time, I know it's like highly situational, but
Yes.
what percentage of the time would you say you do like a like a one-side gank versus like a full clear?
I do it most of the time, hey, especially if I've got good setup.
Really?
Because if you've got something like a Nautilus Leona right into an Enchanter, it's just a free kill. Like, especially people don't expect it. People expect Fiddlesticks players to be do full clears. You know, that's why it's unexpected. They play the champion rather than they're playing Fiddlesticks' identity as a full clearer rather than Fiddlesticks as a jungle player.
Right.
His level 3 is actually quite potent. So when you've got good setup, like what we did there, even though they had vision of us, we still got the kill. We've just won through our bot lane. And then pretty much now, like obviously mid got solo killed, but the game's like over. If this was like pro team versus pro team, the game's done because of the lead we've got for our bot lane. Like as long as we continue to play around them as our win condition, then you'll see as we continue through the game. So a few things to think about, and I'll note this down for you as well. But at the start of the game, you want to think, okay, what is my win condition? What is the enemy's win condition? Can they do a late invade, or are they likely to invade? Can we do a late invade, or can we invade? Because there's actually chance. Again, this is probably like a bit outlandish in the Fiddlesticks community, right? Like it would be looked down upon, but even your level 1 can be quite strong. You've got really good setup. I was actually thinking about doing it this game. If they didn't have a Nunu, I would, depending on their jungler as well, we could do a really good level 1 invade, like a late invade, and steal their buff. Because again, feels really strong in those 2v2, 3v3 situations. Again, there's a lot of nuance. You even touched on it before. There are times where I will do a full clear, but most of the time, if at the start of the game, if I communicate my plan, it usually ends up working. Like probably like 80% of the time where I do that level 3 gank. What I would generally do is, this game we got lucky because the Ahri actually defended our buff. So I could go and defend here, and the bot lane was down here. But usually we'd do like a star formation or like a line formation here. So you'd have one person here, and then, you know, you're just guarding the whole proximity. Yeah, so generally what you do here, stand here, and then on the other side where the Ahri is, just stand in this bush, not the pixel bush, the other bush. And then what you want to do is, about now, like where this, see how the wave's hitting this first tower? You want to put your ward down on the blue, you take the blast cone, and then you go to red. And then you can get away with this level 3. So you do the level 3, and then you can actually see what buff the jungler has. And if they've invaded you, then you can make the appropriate next move.
A quick question: when you're kind of coming up with your initial game plan, do you use like apps like, any apps to see if kind of your teammates are auto-filled or the enemies are?
No, I don't think about that at all, man. Okay. I just it's better to just think about the champ's identity rather than who's piloting them. Obviously you're not always going to have people that are on roll, but as long as they can execute, like everyone knows what Naught's Q does. You know what I mean? Like most people will, especially when you get to like this elo. Even if they're autofill, they're gonna have a general idea. So it doesn't matter if they're autofill or on roll or whatever. I just look at the team comp, my team comp versus their team comp. I don't worry about nameplates. I don't worry about anything like that. Usually I don't just switch off chat as well. So right now I'm looking. I know my whole top side's gone, so there's no point in me going top side. So I'm going to my chickens and looking mid as well.
Hey, quick question on the items. So you decided not to go Sort Shoes. You start off with Dark Seal, Amp Tome.
Yeah, I don't think I could afford it. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah,
but you normally go Sort Shoes.
Yeah, I always go tier 2 boots if I can. Reset. We've done the chickens. We've got good setup again. Here's our win con. They're shoved up. We've got good setup. Bang, bang, bang. We get the kill here too, and the game's done, mate. We could do dragon there, but you see the Kaiser's moving around, and also we don't have mid priority, so I don't force it. I know you said before, like you like to do early dragons, but it actually takes quite a while on Fiddle, especially with not many items. So unless your mid or your bot has priority to come and like move with you, usually I just leave it and just put a ward on it.
Yeah.
We go back to farming.
Especially against Nunu, I probably wouldn't be risking that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a champ specific thing. Yeah, but you can see here like our bot is resetting. We know that Nunu's top side. See him on the minimap. And then we ping dragon. Now I do want to do dragon here, but again I'm just thinking, okay, this is going to be too slow. So maybe there's an angle here for Vayne. Again, something I need to work on is actually just looking at the map, looking at the lane rather than the map. But I see an angle here. I go wide. I thought she would be level 6. Again, because I'm not looking at the map, so it puts us in a shitty situation. She's going deep here. It would have actually been good if the Nort came across as well. Like if because he was just sitting in the wave there. It would have been better if he moved over. But she barriers here and she lives. And here it's a micro mistake for me because I do my drain before he Qs. He was holding his Q. I should have waited for him to Q and then drain, and then maybe we could have outplayed there. But a few little mechanical errors there from me. He did well there. Yeah. He was trying to freeze it, and we saw Nuno and Dragon. He does it pretty slow because he's just by himself and the Kaiser's not moving. So I think there's a chance we can make it here. The Ari's moving as well, which is really, really good. So the Kaiser's moved now. The Nort's done his job. They layer the CC on the Bard. And then here I'm pinging. Still on the Dragon. We're going to try and get the Nuno if we can here. So he doesn't get it.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, we get super lucky here. But you see here the power of like skipping camps. And one thing I'm doing is the word is agency. Like I'm on the map. I'm making an impact. Farming should be
not just blindly full clearing to 6.
Yeah, exactly. Farming should be something you do in your downtime. You know, when people are resetting. So you see they're resetting now. The bot lane, we've got nothing to do there. We know that that's watered. We're just going to go back and farm. Like farming's still important, but it's not the primary thing. But it's better that you be impactful on the map first. All right, so here we know that the rift is coming up. So I want to play for that. But I also want to just get rid of my lower quadrant. So we're aware that it's going to be up in a second. Here I'm thinking, okay, just let it go. We've got good setup again, bot side. So we can actually just do a lane gank. The Bard's returning here as well. And also Trundle's on a reset. So it's actually more time efficient if we just go and try this. Like again, playing with our win condition. Doesn't matter if they get rift. Yeah, I'm trying to get them to push this last minion because they can see me, but they're already fighting.
Yeah.
They don't even need me. Might have been the right play to just reset there. But we do something different here as well. We ward it here because we don't want to waste time. We wasted a little bit of time, but we can just keep pushing here as well. We can actually get the whole tower. For some reason, the Nuno decides to stay here. Bard gets a nice Q. And this is why I run the stopwatch in the inspo tree, just for like an insurance policy. So we live there. So it was weird that the Nuno was bot side. I think he was trying to capitalize and maybe get the shutdown on our bot lane. But we were there, we were protecting them. And now we can go to Rift. So another thing that I need to work on, and this is something that maybe you can pick up as well, is jungle tracking. So like pinging out where the enemy jungler is with some frequency. Like I was doing it at the start of the game, but during mid game, I lose track. So by pinging, like knowing where the jungler is going to be, you can warn your lanes. So we knew that the Nuno was going to go top side after we killed him there. And then also here, we should have just looked straight top 2 instead of doing the buffs. It was a mistake. So we end up wasting a lot of resources for this. But we still get the kill. Whereas if we had to skip wolves and blue, we could have just killed him straight away. Again, just little things that I picked up on, at least for myself. Here the Vayne's gone bot. They end up trading for 3 for 2. Again, because Ashe was our win con. Ashe and Nautilus. So the game's pretty much done here at this point. Just a formality. Like bot's unleashed now. The Ashe is super ahead. We give the rift to the Trundle because we saw Gragas go bot because he's done well. He was weak sided. We've given him no attention, so we'll give him the rift so that he can go and get all the plates there. So he's even said it in chat. I won't get to his tower, but because Gragas TP'd bot, he just gets the whole tower for free and all of the gold. So we bring him back up to it, probably even ahead of the Gragas if he can get the whole tower. And then we've got Dragon coming up, just clearing again. Clearing until our ult is up. And you see how much I ping? It's like an annoying amount. But I'd prefer to over communicate and make sure everyone's on the same page. Now here, if you have a look at this state, what would you do here? Would you even be here?
I'd probably pan up a little bit. It's just yeah, no, I think it's good to position over here. I would check your teammates to see what they're gonna do and what their health is. I guess their full health. I don't know. I wouldn't like for sure like go for the ult here, but I think it's good to be on the side of the map.
We've got a pink here. We can be sure that we'll get our fear off. So here, instead of going for the Nunu, because we know he's got his Q, he's just going to Q smite. Like any good Nunu will just Q smite here. We're not focusing on the dragon, we're focusing on the two squishy, the Kaiser and the Vayne, the double kill, rather than looking for the dragon. If we can get the dragon, it's a bonus, but the 2 kills are more than worth. We Ash ended up stealing the dragon. I have no idea how, but yeah. We got the 2 kills and the dragon. I just want to push that in there, and hopefully they reset. Yeah, the Gragas is moving in. Now, because we can see Gragas and Bard, when they show on the map, we can look for blue. We're waiting for information here. But yeah, Vayne's top. Bard's top. So we can actually go for the blue now. So if Nunu comes, we just kill him anyway, but because we can see 2 top, we can go in and invade. So here, I'm hoping the Ahri actually comes in, because we're super far ahead. Like, we're sitting on a lot of gold, but I know we can kill him.
Music licensing reimagined.
Don't have the damage for it. It's a nice pick into a silence, and then Ahri ends up coming, and it's just domination from here. But I think the big theme that would be good for you to be aware of, and again, it's not so much I don't want you to get like information overload, because a lot of this stuff has just come through from like playing lots of games and like figuring out the hard way. So there's a way that you can just skip it all and just use a more logical framework of thinking, where you can dominate games like this more frequently than not, rather than just autopiloting the full clear. You have a plan, you go and stick to it. And even if your plan doesn't work out, the fact that you've got a plan is going to put you in the top like 85, 90 percentile. So here's a big fight, and I think we just win here. Huge ult.
Wow.
Again, we're super far ahead, and we get a clutch heal here from the Ashe. Game's just done. But you see here, from level 1, we always knew what was our win con from that level 1, man. Even going into this game, exactly. And look at that. When you start to have that positive influence of like, hey, my plan's working, and then everyone's like sticking to it, and they're all on the same page, even though it's unsaid, people are aware that, okay, this is our win con now. We know that the Ashe is huge. We know the Fiddle's huge. Skip. Here we set the Rift bot, because Baron's up, and we know that the Trundle's job is just to split push. He's got the hull breaker.
Yeah.
We just want him to get pressure on the map, so we put it there. Ahead a little bit. So you see the Nunu's bot, we're pinging Baron straight away. As the Nunu's bot. So again, we put that pressure on with the Rift. He's probably tilted here as well, so he's just given up. That was a nice charm. So this fight is it's not the best, because look at Ashe. This was never meant to be a fight. It was meant to be a, let's just get the chickens and we'll push forward together as a team. And then the Nautilus and the Ahri went ham, so we're just joining them where we can. Here, the Nunu's used his snowball, so I know they have no other CC abilities. So I'm thinking, all right, what do I need to do to influence this? Bang. That ult. Even though they could see me here, we still get it off, because again, it was just being aware that Nunu's snowball is the only thing that can interrupt our channel. And then we just end up winning. Even though this was a pretty dominant stomp, the takeaways for me was that I need to look around the map more. I also need to ping jungle tracking in the mid game. And then yeah, the micro mistake where I died at the early game. Pretty much that's it, man. I don't know if did you get many takeaways from this?
Yeah, I think for me the main thing was like the early game stuff. I think that's like totally rocked my world. I mean, there's a lot I could do differently in the early game.
But yeah, the fundamental and consistent theme should be that you continue to play towards your win condition, and that's how you're going to win more games.